Welcome back to Jade and Jay, and we're going to be talking about awareness of hijackers. And no, not the terrorists on the plane, but just hijackers, meaning white people that tend to steal black and brown people's styles, whether it be music or any other genre.
Yeah, I've noticed throughout my years of living that whether it's in media, politics, or inventions of anything, that especially in a pop culture kind of way of being cool, white people, not all, tend to take credit for a lot of things that isn't theirs. Now, this may not be anything new to some people, but it's just our personal experiences of what we want to share, of what we notice of how they hijack through various examples at the workplace, at the store, any place.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the workplace because immediately I think of an incident where a previous white coworker was asking me questions, and I'm fine with the normal, hey, how was your weekend? What you doing this upcoming holiday? I'm fine with little chit chat here and there. But when it starts to get too personal, I start to, question that. And when I did change the subject after she asked questions that were a little too personal, she noticed that I noticed, and she chuckled and said, I like how you changed the subject. But, we, Jade and I, we usually put our hand over our mouth and have this little scenario of, man, we don't need to say too much because there are hijackers out there.
Yeah, they're starting to say bye Felicia, which isn't a bad thing, but they say it in a way to try to act like they know what is cool to us. So if we talk the way that they talk, we can infiltrate them in a way of acting like we're the ones who created this way. Like we can, and if you're inspired by something, that's cool, but always pay homage to where it came from. And I've noticed white people don't do that. I was at my job and I heard a white person pull up in a motorcycle playing some, which sounded like rap, but it was a country rap. And I didn't notice that till I Shazammed it. And it brought a group up, which I don't want to say their name and give them credit, but it made me just raise an eyebrow and think, man, he likes hip hop. But I guarantee you, with where I work and by what he was listening to, he wouldn't like a conscious rapper such as Common, Tupac, and among other Nas, Jay-Z, anybody, whoever you think is a conscious rapper, because just how he is, what I observed, he's a good person, good hard worker, but it's things like that I noticed.
Yeah, it's just like what you said the other day about Chuck Berry. He's not getting recognition. Elvis is. And again, you can like what you like, but don't ever take anything without paying homage. That's totally disrespectful. And you have all these commercials or different things that you may see in movies or in TV shows, and you've got, now again, not all white people, but the majority of the white people are taking styles and dances and different things that they learned from black and brown people. And it can be, black culture, it can be, when you talk about brown, it can be Latina culture, salsa dancing, it can be a lot of different things, but they're not paying homage, and they're using it to, I believe, to make money, to make a fortune.
I just want us as black and brown people to be more aware of some white people that try to just be nosy and infiltrate. Like I told Jay, my mother told me when white people are the nicest, it's usually during holidays.
Right.
So then comes the questions of this and that, of where you live, what do you do, what do your wife do, what does your husband do, how many kids you got, etc. It's different when those questions are asked, it seems, through other black and brown people. And this isn't a audio of hatred towards white people.
No.
Hatred is never good. It's just I wish we were more aware of what we tell people and what gets put out there as far as our family, what we think is cool,
right,
and such. Like Jay and I say, we need to put our hand over our mouth, because if we don't say anything,
they won't take anything.
They won't take anything.
They won't know
and that's
anything.
not to say that we shouldn't, talk and express ourselves, but just in a comical way.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if every, black and brown person walked around with their hand over their
yeah,
mouth.
they wouldn't know what to do. You know, they wouldn't know what to take. And again, I'm glad you said, and I would also confirm that, yeah, this is not hatred towards white people. We try to not hate anybody and put out there that, you know, we're for all human beings. But just be aware of who you are, where you come from. You know, don't fall into traps of certain white people trying to be nice, trying to ask you questions, because you and I can both relate to jobs that we've had, people we've encountered. It seems like the more questions they ask immediately, I tend to think, and I have many reasons to believe, that they only want to know how each specific black person is doing to compare different families. Like, oh, this person, you know, comes from a broken down household. Or do you have kids? How many kids do you have? Are they all with the same, you know, father? Are they all, you know, in the same household? And it's a comparison. And I haven't really heard any other person other than a white person be that nosy, be that curious.
Right.
Because what's it to you at the end of the day? What's it to you?
I remember one time I was at the movie theater and I came out of a movie and 8 Mile was playing. It wasn't that movie I was going to see, but it was a real popular movie. Matter of fact, it was actually a great movie. But when I walked out of a theater, I forget what movie I was seeing, but a white guy was outside asking black people, yo, do you rap? Do you rap? Do you rap? And it's like, no, but he got inspired by the movie. I get it, but
Yeah.
it hit differently when you're around your own people and there's a white guy out there getting inspired by this and that. It's different.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, a lot of people do forget where they come from. Just the other day, we had noticed that it can be someone who's an actor or an athlete or whoever, but a lot of times, and this again, before I even dive into this, I have nothing against biracial marriages or, you know, families. I have no disrespect for anybody. Yeah, kids. I just strongly believe you should get with someone who is close to what you are. But there are a lot of mixed kids that tend to gravitate more towards their white side. Now, you should acknowledge both. Like, if you're mixed and you're half black, half white, you should acknowledge both. You know, because you're 50-50 and you can't help what you are.
You can't help who your parents are.
You definitely, and this is not any kind of disrespect. It's just awareness, like the title. A lot of biracial children are not. They don't like to promote or even identify with their other part, which is black. And if you have black in you, and you just want to lighten your skin and, you know, make your hair always straight and make it look like, you know what, I don't have a kink in my hair. I don't have a black in my body. I'm not black. I'm white. I identify with white. You know, you can't forget where you came from. You can't forget who you are. And that's the issue that I have. It's not being biracial. It's forgetting where you come from, what's in your blood that you cannot deny, no matter how you try to change your appearance and put makeup on or wear certain clothes. If you have black in you, acknowledge it, appreciate it, you know, embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed more white people like celebrities or athletes that are mixed more than they do a person that's actually predominantly black in the sport.
Right.
And a lot of people like Steph Curry, Devin Booker, you know, all these light-skinned black guys and Trae Young and or mixed kids more than they like a LeBron, a Russell Westbrook, a Chris Paul, a Giannis. You know, it's those type of things I wish we would notice, maybe speak out more, and always look for a solution. Which is, I don't have the answer for it. I'm just putting an awareness out there. Is that look for these examples of what they take from us. They got us thinking, yeah, Elvis is the king of rock and roll when it's Chuck Berry. They got you thinking somebody else isn't the best on the guitar when it's, you know, Jimi Hendrix. They got you thinking one of my favorite rappers, Eminem, is the best rapper ever, when that's just not the case.
Right, and we've forgotten about what the true meaning of hip-hop is. You know, I've always loved all kinds of music, but when it comes to hip-hop, it historically and culturally, it touches a certain place in my heart. But that has just seemed to just change. You know, it's not what it used to be. We don't have, you know, a Queen Latifah singing about unity anymore. We have somebody who, and again, I'm not disrespecting anybody who makes money. You make it how you make it. but I'm just bringing awareness. You know, if you're going to listen to certain music, please talk to these children about what is just not appropriate. You can like what you like, but let's bring awareness to other things as well. You know,
That's
let's be careful.
Got, not to cut you off, Jay, but I wanted to say real quick, that's how they got the Macklemore getting the Grammy over Kendrick Lamar. Whether you think it's important or not, I don't really care, but I damn well know that Kendrick is a way better lyricist, rapper, MC, better than Macklemore. And you know, where's he at and where's Kendrick at on the on a scale of pure talent then? Exactly. And with white privilege.
Right. And as a female, and of course I agree with you, but as a female, I feel like a lot of other talented females are just afraid to come out and put their talents out there because they feel like, oh, I'm not sexy enough. I don't show enough skin, and nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to care what kind of music I put out there, or what kind of art I put out there. And a lot of what used to be in hip hop is just no longer what it is. There's no more message. There's no more, like I said previously, there's no unity. There's nothing out there that's consistent enough that helps our community. And we can't always be mad at the government or at schools, or we have to look inside the household, which kind of goes back into our, most recent recordings. You know, the household is so important. You can listen to whatever you want to listen to, but make sure in the household you let it be known what's appropriate, how you're supposed to carry yourself when you go out. You know, don't be mad at men and women who don't find, true love, because they're not really knowing what to look for. They're letting the media be their parent. We've got to do better. Yeah, so we appreciate y'all taking the time to listen in on us. We're going to continue to try to put out, positive messages, never to disrespect anybody. But, people, please just have awareness of hijackers. Be careful what you say.
Be careful and conscious of the things that they try to take and say that they're the inventors of, whether it's funny quotes and, how we dress, how we do music,
sports,
everything. Just try to be more conscious of that. That's the only thing I just want to say. And to give a quick shout out to the brother Kevin Samuels, who makes good points on relationships and social issues. May not agree with everything he says, but he's a good dude from what I've listened to his audio, his podcast, and support African American businesses.
Always
support Black and Brown businesses. Support American businesses. Support African businesses. Support things that align with your morals.
Yeah, and support things that also promote good marriage, healthy marriage, communication. And, we're going to continue to do what we do. And again, thank you all for listening. Stay blessed.